your chemistry with Conan, I mean, when Kumail Nanjiani couldn't make it on the show and I had to fill in for him as a guest.
Yeah.
It was an out-of-body experience to sit on a chair in between the two of you. I don't know if I ever told you that. I mean, I grew up like a lot of people my age, especially. I grew up watching you and Conan on TV. And so you guys are, like, in my opinion, the best late night duo that's ever existed. And so when I, was filling in for Kumail as a guest, I remember just being like, I cannot believe that I'm sitting in between Andy and Conan right now, and that I know both of them very well, and they're friends of mine. And it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know how I got here, but I am so excited that I am here. It was just such a beautiful moment in my brain at that point. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, honestly, Kumail's great, but he's not you. Like I always, when people would say to me, like, who are your favorite guests? And I'd be like, my friends. Yeah. Like Andy Daly or Matt Walsh or Will Arnett or Amy Poehler. Like that's, like when my friends come on, that's all. I don't, like, oh, Tom Hanks is there. Tom Hanks is a lovely guy, but he's not Andy Daly,
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, he's not you.
Yeah, and you have so many cool
friends.
Andy, that list was just so cool.
I know. I really do, don't I?
You do.
The hilarious thing is, though, that I don't see any of them anymore. That's part of old age, is I don't see any of them.
If I had to list my friends, people would be like, who? What? Yeah. And you just listed the most legendary improv people. I mean, it's like, that's so cool.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's
that's your world. That's where you came from.
There was a rigorous casting process to be my friend, and these guys made the cut.
I'm honored.
Well, now let's talk about this book. Because you wouldn't be here just to chew the fat. You're here for a reason.
Yeah, I don't want to be here just to talk to you.
Yeah.
No, of course, I would do it even if I didn't have a book. But yeah, I wrote a book, Andy. I wrote a book.
Where did that come from?
So,
did you say, I think I should write a book, or did somebody come to you and say, you should write a book?
My friend, Liesel, who was a good friend of mine, she was like, you should write a book, and you need to call it The World's Worst Assistant. And I was like, okay. And then the next day, I told
Conan, is Liesel in publishing or something? Or is it just, or is she just one of the kids from The Sound of Music?
No, I know. I forgot her name is Liesel. She was actually my college professor.
Oh, okay.
She taught me, she was my speech coach, and she was my speech teacher, and then I joined the speech team because of her. And
okay.
We've kept in touch since college. She's, younger and cool, and she just has really great ideas about she's one of those people who's just like, makes suggestions to you about things you should do. And you're like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? She's one of those people where you're like, it's good to have her in my life. And I love her. And she suggested it. And I was like, it was like something in my head was like, I should do that. That's fun. And I first needed to get Conan's approval because it's called The World's Worst Assistant. And I'm obviously going to talk about my time working for Conan. And he was like, I'm writing the foreword, send it to my agents at WME. And so he helped me get an agent. He wrote the foreword for it. So he was really supportive. I mean, I couldn't write the book if he wasn't, because I still work for him. And it would have been really awkward if he was
I work for a guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's a lot about my time working for Conan. It's a lot of the things that we talked about, which is like, there's always been sort of like a fish out of water kind of element to me and how I felt being in television and working in TV. So a lot of the things I got to do, like when we went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, when I met Bill Clinton or Jimmy Carter, there was moments where I was just like, what is this? Like, how exciting that I get to do this. And I've always told myself not to get jaded by it, not to get too comfortable and think that I deserve to be there. So I've always had this like wide-eyed wonderment about my job. And so I talk about that. I talk about a lot of stories about how much I've sucked at my job over the years in certain aspects. And, you know, it's a lot of tongue in cheek, because I think when people think about Hollywood assistants, I think they think about these people who just are like overworked and miserable, and they're, you know, constantly like sacrificing their personal and physical and mental well-being for their bosses, who will like help them propel them to a different, you know, job that will, you know, it's a means to an end. And I think that I was like, you know, I feel like there's a take to my job, which is I never had to do any of that. I never had to compromise who I was and my mental well-being or my physical well-being for this job. And I got to a point where I was like, this is cool, so I don't need to go anywhere else. Like I'm fine being Conan's assistant for the rest of my life. And I think that it was like, that's the sort of angle that I wrote this book from, was this. You've heard all these horror stories about being an assistant, but this is not a horror story. This is something this is fun. And this is a fun take on it.